In the 5th hour, Noir destroys Prospect while Solix and Terezi discover the kids who live on Earth. Gamzee, the hero of Rage, has run out of the sedative sopor slime he is addicted to. Dave invites Gamzee to watch a video that blasphemes his clown faith. The video angers and changes him. When Noir's green fire kills Dream Aradia in her crypt, Aradia rises up as the god tier made of time. In the lab, her robotic avatar hugs Solix goodbye and then explodes. With her new power, she freezes him in place just long enough for his rage and impatience to turn him into a portal to the Green Sun for a moment. She unfreezes him and leaps through him into the vicinity of the Green Sun, to which he can't teleport himself. Aradia has escaped into the furthest ring, where the gods blow bubbles for the dreaming dead. The dream bubbles are the afterlife for players of Suburban Zagreb. Some of the inhabitants are ghosts of players who died and were not resurrected. The rest are projections of alive players who are asleep and dreaming after their dream selves or waking selves have died. And then there is Aradia, who is uniquely alive and there in the flesh. The dream bubbles are decorated with scenery from the ghosts' lives, letting the inhabitants relive old memories without being aware that they have died. Aradia eagerly becomes a psychopomp for these amnesiac ghosts. She talks to them and eases them into awareness. The first bubble Aradia enters is a memory belonging to one of her own doomed selves, an Aradiabot who attacked Noir 6 hours ago. Noir dispatches this Aradiabot by throwing little Cal at her. She traveled back in time to escape the puppet's awful clutches and was crushed by a meteor speeding towards Skya during the Reckoning. A defense portal sent this meteor to Alternia sometime before Aradia first died. It smashed a hole through the ground and into a cave. The dream bubble shifts to Aradia's memories of this older event. Aradia went to look into the cave and found some blue frog ruins like the red ones near Kanaya's hive. In the impact crater, Aradia found the remains of her own future soulbot and, tucked into Little Cal's shirt, John's dad's wallet. She shared her discovery with Solix, who needed to know the glyphs carved into the blue ruins in order to finish writing Zagreb. They sent Little Cal to Kanaya for repair. When the dead doomed Aradia and dreaming Solix reenact their old conversation without awareness, the living Aradia steps in and helps them remember. Other ghosts and dreamers drift in and out of this bubble. Aradia takes them on a tour through events in their lives, revealing the suppressed memories in which they wrote out pieces of the genetic code that the agents of Durst would use to make Alternia's first guardian. Just as Rose wrote part of Bequerel's genome in a cipher with the letters meow, the Trolls wrote part of Doc Scratch's genome in ciphers with the letters tick-tock, break heads, honk-honk, the harbinger of the vast honk foretold in Gamzee's clown faith. The Black Queen created Doc Scratch by combining these codes with Little Cal and Vriska's magic cue ball. After Aradia's soulbot explodes for no apparent reason, the Trolls lose interest in working together. Most of them leave the computer room and withdraw into their own corners of the laboratory. In the 8th hour, they start fighting and killing each other. It goes down like this. Vriska gloats, telling Tavros how she orchestrated Noir's rise to invincible demonhood. Tavros threatens to end her inveterate abuse and manipulation. They agree to fight it out, and he goes looking for her. Terezi leads a doomed Dave to his death while testing the Alpha Dave's willingness to rise to godhood. Her complicity in this event upsets her. When she runs off in tears, the only trolls left in the computer room are Solix, Veferi, Karkat, and Kanaya. A key discovery in the lab has suggested to Kanaya that the time is right to use the Matriorb, an egg she harvested from her dead mother grub Lucis. She hopes to relaunch the Alternian race by hatching the Matriorb in the core of the meteor, but before she can leave for the core, Aridin enters. Aridin picks a fight with Solix by declaring his intention to surrender and serve Noir. Veferi and Solix decide that Aridin must be stopped. Aridin tosses off his cape and they duel. With his wand, he is much more powerful than when they fought on Lobov. The gold blood takes a crushing blow and slumps against the wall. The fairy makes a move to retaliate, but Aridin is quicker on the draw. His bolt of white science impales her in the collapsing and expanding bladder-based aquatic vascular system. The fuchsia blood falls dead on the horn pile. Finally, Aridin provokes Kanaya by blowing up the matriarch. She lunges at him and gets a bolt through the torso for her trouble. The jade blood falls sort of dead on the floor. Having completed his rampage, Aridin leaves the computer room. Karkat snaps out of the shocked bystander mode and examines the bodies, finding Solix to be in stable condition. Messages arrive from Doc Scratch and Gamzee that make Karkat fear for his life. Gamzee has embraced the violent psychosis that is his calling as a purple blood. He promises to kill everyone. Tavros finds Vriska on a high walkway. He charges at her and is impaled. Vriska sticks the bronze blood with his own lance and throws him off the walkway. He drops a great height and falls dead on the ground behind Terezi, who is alone. Terezi investigates and pins the murder on Vriska. She sends her findings to Karkat, then takes her computer glasses off and kisses Tavros' corpse in the vain hope that he might have a dream self to revive. Karkat, weeping, does the same for Kanaya. Nothing comes out of their heartfelt corpse smooches. Karkat drags the unconscious Solix out of the computer room in search of a place to hide from Gamzee. At the top of a staircase, Karkat hears a scary honk and panics. He and Solix happen to fall down the stairs. The tumble knocks Solix's fangs out. Karkat finally responds to Terezi's message, only to find Gamzee on the line. Fearing the worst, Karkat appeals to Equius to fight back against the psychopaths. Terezi leaves for the computer room without her glasses, letting Gamzee steal them. He gets revenge on Dave by subjecting him and John to psychic chuckle voodoos that trouble their dreams. In Dave's case, the chuckle voodoos create an instance of Little Cal, and in John's case, they cause the unconscious clown scribbles that will contribute to the Harlequin prototyping. Equius makes Nepeta hide in a safe room while he goes looking for the violent Highbloods. But she's not content to sit still. She enters the air ducts and crawls around. She sees Equius through a grate and watches as Gamzee kills him. Gamzee first shoots an arrow into Equius' knee, then garrotes him with the bowstring. The indigo blood offers no resistance, and chokes with a smile on his face. Losing her moirail spurs Nepeta to attack. She leaps out of the grate at Gamzee. It ends no better for the olive blood than for the 3 other trolls who lunged at their foes. Gamzee uses her claws for war paint, and clubs her to death. Terezi returns unharmed to the computer room, and smells another murder to pin on Vriska. But the crime scene is not how Karkat left it. Kanaya's body and Aridin's cape are gone, and there is a bite on Feferi's neck. Terezi tries messaging Karkat again, and ends up chatting with Solix. He has recovered from the blow he suffered in the duel, but there are lasting effects. He is now blind, listless, and free from the voices of the soon-to-die. Their talk is cut short when a bright-smelling interloper ambushes Terezi and sucks her teal blood. After killing Tavros, Vriska feels remorse for the first time. She bears her soul to John and consults her ancestor's diary for guidance. Trolls do not have families, but some of them claim a special kinship with legendary ancestors. When Vriska was little, she found the diary and belongings of her ancestor, Marquise Mindfang, a swashbuckling gambligant. The Marquise wrote about her kismissitude with Orphaner Dualscar, Aridin's ancestor, who took his rivalry with her too far. Mindfang took Kanaya's ancestor for a slave and violated her. Dualscar had the slave killed, and then tattled to the Grand Highblood, Gamzee's ancestor, a subjugulator. The Highblood killed the Orphaner for being unfunny. Vriska, Aridin, and Gamzee are wandering alone when they cross paths. The murderers enjoy a 3-way stare-down, complete with Fago and Tumbleweed, when a 4th troll bursts onto the scene with Aridin's cape tied over a hole in her torso. Moving with vampire fastness, she kicks Gamzee off the walkway, punches Vriska, and breaks Aridin's wand, sawing the violet blood in half. Vriska is enamored of Kanaya's rowdy, no-nonsense brand of ruffianism. Meanwhile, Terezi wakes up from her blood donation, still believing that Vriska is the only murderer. Gamzee starts collecting the bodies and manipulating the evidence to frame Vriska further. Terezi finds Nepeta's corpse, and a note that makes her think Vriska has harmed Gamzee too. The note lures Terezi into a room where she finds her old role-playing accessories, the puppet Little Cal, and Disc 2 of Homestuck. She scratches the disc on a record player, damaging it greatly. After donning the costume of her ancestor, Neophyte Redglare, Terezi decides she is ready to put Vriska on trial. Neophyte Reglair was a legislacerator who served the subjugulators. They sent her to arrest Marquise Mindfang after hearing Dualscar's testimony. Reglair and her Dragonluce's Pyral Spite succeeded where many others had failed. They burned Mindfang's fleet and brought her to trial. At the trial, Mindfang turned the tables on Reglair by manipulating the minds of the spectators. They mobbed Reglair and hanged her while Mindfang fought the gigantic tyranny presiding over the court block. After escaping, Mindfang holed up with Equius' ancestor Darkleer and reclaimed the treasure she had kept, a seed of the doctor who had manipulated her. It was an oracle she consulted often before she lost her vision eightfold. It had told her she would die at the hands of her future matesprit, Tavros' ancestor, the rebel summoner. Mindfang decided not to use the magic cue ball again. Instead, she hid it for her descendant to find. The orb would later play a role in Vriska's cycle of revenge against her friends and in the creation of Doc Scratch. The scratch in the disc forces us to quit playing and take it to a Scratch Doctor for repair. While fixing the Homestuck disc, Doc Scratch narrates part of Act 5 in his own narcissistic style. Terezi knows Vriska will be responsible for more deaths if she is not stopped. In her mind's eye, Terezi sees the future. When Vriska flies, Noir will follow her scent to the meteor, killing the rest of the trolls. To prevent this from happening, when Vriska calls her bluff and turns to go, Terezi stabs the Cobalt Blood in the back, killing her. Vriska's death is judged just. She doesn't come back to life. Only Terezi, Gamzee, Solix, Kanaya, and Karkat remain. If you like the summary, links in the description. If you like the video, go ahead and click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.